Oh my goodness, welcome back. This is definitely the first take of episode 71. Well, Dilly, I was going to have you say the number, but we did that last time, so you definitely know what it is.
So it's 71. Tanner did not post-record.
We don't need to fucking say that part.
We've been here about
10
welcome.
minutes.
15 minutes, probably.
No, 20 minutes, actually.
20 minutes.
So we've been talking, we're here and we're real this time. Welcome back to This Just My Work podcast, episode 71. I want to quickly say, I said it last time, but I'm going to say it again because this is the first take. I didn't say it last time because this is the first take. Thanks. Thanks for showing support on the podcast. Appreciate that. We're up to 40 subs on YouTube and 43 followers on Instagram. Might not sound a lot, but it's a lot for us, so we appreciate you.
That's good.
So, and thanks for the comments. What was this? Fetus delete? No, that wasn't his name.
Fetus deletus?
No.
Fetus deletus.
Fat Buddhist was his name. I got it mixed up. My fault, brother.
Potter,
he said this pod fucks on the Instagram. I appreciate you, bro. I'll hit you up with more information, but I appreciate you. If you comment, you'll get a shout out. See, just like that. Simple stuff.
Comment.
So
Good comments.
Good comments.
Very nice
So
comments.
we'll get into the drink and we'll just hear it all about. Mail already opened it. It just magically opened. What do you got?
All right.
Hit me again.
Again.
You're right. Hit me.
Again.
You're right.
Again. Like World War II, because we owned on the first and then owned on the second.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go.
All right. You piece of fucking shit. You communist. You fascist. You socialist.
That's right.
What? Communist. What?
What?
Socialist. What?
What?
Fascist. What? Piece of living shit. Bringing fucking garbage.
Terrible.
Into this place. You're bringing imports. You drive an import like a piece of shit. You fucking drink imports like a piece of shit.
Unbelievable.
You breathe air like a fucking beta.
How could you?
Everything about Europe is beta compared to America. America murders Europeans day in, day out. They're in the hurt locker when we come to town. You know why? Because we rip their pants down. We fuck them in the ass, and we end their fucking lives the second they try to break democracy down. We bring freedom to this world, and those pieces of pussy just want to end it every fucking day. And I'm done you bringing this place in. We don't support the fucking fascist piece of shit rape victims that they are. We fuck their ass with the cactus and we say, how do you do? Here's something for that cut. It's Tito's vodka and fucking Coors Light, bitch.
Fucking amen. Oh my God.
All you do is bring this piece of shit Italian wine. Nothing good about it. French wine. Nothing good about it. All it is fucking suckling teats of wee babes.
I thought it was a tasty.
Don't even fucking talk to me, you fucking beta.
Oh my God.
I thought it was a tasty wine.
I'm trying to fucking bring back manhood to this podcast.
Jesus Christ.
And not bitchness. So, in sense of that, pre-staged, not open prior, fuck off, the Federalist wine.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, it's American. It's got Benny B on that.
Benny the B. Let's
Benny
go.
B. Franklin. Fucking Dub Nation.
That's right. Oh my God.
All it is victory.
And all it is American. Fuck. That was
That's a lot.
that was amazing.
Made in California, so it's an American wine. It's not fucking communist like Dilly's. So
Right. Pretty good. So, well, shit. I'm excited to drink more of it. Not that we have already.
Yeah,
but
we definitely haven't tried it yet.
Yep.
So
definitely
hey,
not pre-glass.
all
or
right, so
anything.
yep,
fake-
here's
Oh,
your
thank you,
glass.
sir.
That was
Wow,
so
Jesus
fast. You
Christ,
poured
looks
that
so
so
good.
fast,
My
dude.
God, you're amazing.
Here's your
so
glass.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was so fast.
Of
Thank you
course.
so
All
much.
right, let's cheers and let's try this.
Wow.
Shit.
Oh my God.
Try it again. It's crazy.
Smells so good, like-
first
Again.
time.
What? Oh, I like the smell.
Wow, it tastes like not dry at all.
I
Tastes
tasted something
really
like
good.
this before.
Wow, it tastes like it would go so good with like steak and mushrooms.
Tastes
Yeah.
like the best wine
But
we had on the podcast, actually.
Dead ass, it's a great wine.
It is actually a really good wine. And that was everything happens for a reason. That's all I'm going to say because that second one was fucking beautiful. That was insane. The first one was good.
Insider fucking topic. We fucked up.
Yeah, we did.
That's my second speech.
Yeah, that might be a second.
That was
And
the second speech, and it's the better one.
Yes, it is. Thank God. And everything happens for a reason, like I said, because
Tito's vodka. And
that was
Coors Light.
beautiful. I was like, oh God, amen to that one, brother.
My microphone is so wet with spit.
Jesus Christ, nobody's ever using that one besides you.
Yep. Dude, that was some Bruce Buffer shit right there.
That was
great.
ridiculous. I'm excited.
Went off.
I'm so excited to edit that.
Understandably.
But Jesus Christ, I about lost my mind when I'm doing that. But I will say, when I because I'm like, why did my computer turn off? Because it turns off when I'm not doing anything, but it doesn't turn off when I'm recording, of course, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you
So
saw
it turned off, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. But the green light stayed on, knowing like the camera was still doing something. So I'm like, okay.
Oh, man.
And then, then I realized my heart dropped because it was just such a beautiful beginning of the episode. So, it was even better the second time. So it worked. It all works out.
Yeah, it worked out. I had to bring even more of an A game.
Jesus Christ, did you?
I could not just repeat myself.
You like completely deleted it out of your memory and just redid it. It was pretty impressive.
It was beautiful, really art.
Thank you.
It was
I tried my best.
Honestly.
When I get talking about America, I get
Big.
Well, it's hard not
heartstrings.
It's
Heartstrings.
It's beautiful stuff. So, but the wine's really good.
Yeah, it is. I really like it.
What it has 2017 on it? Is that what it is? So it's a Cabernet Sauvignon.
I think it's very good. It's tart. I know I was kind of mentioning that.
The Federalist. I know he slapped it on the table, so I'll probably zoom in on that. But
it's a very good red wine though, with steak, with little mushrooms.
This
steak
with steak would actually be fucking ridiculous. I
Yeah.
could crush a whole bottle by
A
myself.
good
with
Texas steak.
Oh yeah.
Or good like New York strip or something. Come on now.
Tomahawk.
That'd be fire.
A tomahawk.
Give that back to you. Shit, any kind of steak, honestly. Steak sounds fire. Been eating cheap meals recently. I could use a steak.
Very tasty.
So, what we were saying in the pre-episode discussion, definitely not the first take, we were talking about this might be Dilly's most, I don't know, how would we say it? Like, most, like, you're fucking into this episode, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're going to be balls deep in this episode.
I'm pretty. It's pretty. It's gonna be. This could be good.
So,
It's gonna be.
it's exciting for you.
Well, nerd topic.
Oh, big time
Big
nerd
time nerd
topic.
topic.
And I like kind of what we're doing, and we could talk about this off the pod.
Yeah.
But we have a
deep
trend
dive.
now. Yeah, we're on like a third episode deep dive now.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, going into like one like subject
Yeah.
and
that's
really
our
going into it.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
It might be a thing that we continue
that would be
to do.
really cool. Actually.
It might help
Each
a little
one.
bit
Yeah, I
with
really
the
do
viewers
like
and for ourselves. So,
Yep.
so maybe we keep doing that. But for this episode, Dilly's going big. Dilly's going in. It's his, and it kind of works out because you had the one 2 episodes ago. I had the one last week, and now it's yours. So we didn't
this
plan
is
that at
actually
all, but that's just how it worked
perfect.
out. So
Yeah, it's great.
Maybe this is the thing.
this
A new
might be
thing.
the thing. So Dilly, for
Anyways.
71, what do you got for us?
So, what I got now.
Again,
Okay, let me
nerdy.
nerdy. So, before I talk about this, I'm gonna say it again. Everybody, you got to watch the movie. There's more information about what I'm talking about in the movie called Pump. You have to Google it. It's called Pump, and it's about fuel, different fuel choices in America.
Right.
So, you can. Man, dude, this is weird. Just being on the spot. Like,
What do you mean?
know,
Come on
it's
now.
weird.
What,
I thought
like
you
you
were
haven't been on-
prepping for this.
I am.
It's
I'm
like
ready.
you haven't been on the podcast for 70 other episodes.
Dude, it's like you keep talking, dude. So I think.
It is a podcast.
So you're right. You're right. So
You got it now. You got it all prepped up, and people
this
are
is good.
anxious to hear what you got to say.
Dude, I'm getting anxious myself. Shit. So in America, right? Pull up to the gas pump. You got gasoline, right?
Right.
Everyone's like, oh, okay. There's a choice of other fuels, but we don't have that choice. We don't have fuel choice. We got choice over what we wear, where we want to go out to eat, what kind of car we want, what kind of shoes we want.
Well, we do
all that
have a
stuff.
choice, but we have a choice between what grade of gasoline.
Yeah.
Grade.
Yeah,
You're
it's
right,
like
yes,
you want
grades of
primo or you want reg. That's pretty much
Yes.
all we got.
But it's gas.
Yep.
It's only gas.
Only
Yes.
gas.
It's our only choice is gas.
So
Yep.
I'm going to tell you my story with this here fuel I'm about to talk about now.
All right, now.
So this fuel, it's called ethanol, if
Okay.
anyone's heard of it. It's grain alcohol,
This wine's delicious.
moonshine.
yeah, it's really nice, isn't
It's
it?
very good. Moonshine, it's like, it is what you drink. When you get drunk, you drink. It's,
Moonshine.
moonshine. So,
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Plant-based.
2
Yeah.
shots.
Plant-based.
Fucked.
plant-based, yes. So,
Okay.
the first time I heard about this fuel, I had my first car. It was an old. It was a 1986 Jeep Comanche, old car, just, said fuck the environment, just wanted to fucking shoot, black smoke everywhere. And it wouldn't pass emissions. And I got a new catalytic converter, hoping that would help it pass emissions. Still didn't pass emissions. And so we went back to the place that installed the catalytic converter, and this guy that worked in the shop was like, I'm not supposed to tell you this, bud. And he walks over with
just
my
like
dad,
that, huh?
just like that. He walks over outside the shop. He's with my dad.
He's like, come outside, I got something to tell you.
Yeah, and I'm 16 at the time. I'm 16. He tells my dad and I, he's like, there's a store down there over yonder sells ethanol fuel. And I'm like, what is that? I'm like, what?
Yeah, good old corn juice.
Corn juice. He said it burns, and I remember him telling me, he's like, it burns so clean, it will burn as clean as a propane grill. That's exactly what he said. Jeez. And I said, I was like, no way, what is this stuff? So I go over there, I fill it up, and right across the street is the emissions testing station. Right?
Oh, no kidding. Really?
It was right across. It was across, the road big road we used to live on. And so I go in, I drive it through, and they measure it, I believe, in parts per million for the numbers.
Yeah, it is.
So I don't know tons about that, but the parts per million it needed to be was under 40,000 parts per million. And
yeah, it's a different. It's a reader that measures like different gases, so like monoxide, carbon dioxide, methanol, this, that, the whatevers. So it's like they look at not every single gas, but like this gas, and this gas. Each one has to be below a certain parts per million.
I
so
see.
like 1 million is one full air sample.
I see.
So it's called and they call that. I honestly can't remember all the gases, but I know the tool that's called. It's called 5-gas analyzer. I don't know why I remember that, but that's tool they stick in your exhaust. You're right, and so. Most cars, I think it's like just under 40,000 is what, so they're like, okay, you're good, parts per million. It burned, it was at 6,000 parts per million.
Jeez!
Which is very clean. That's like
It need to be under 40,000?
Under 40. It ran.
Jeez.
It ran so clean. Keep in mind, the guys that saw it not pass twice, saw me come in, it burned that clean. And I remember him walking up, and he said, it passed, amazingly passed. Like, it is burning so clean. And I was like, because of course I'm not going to say anything. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And then I leave. And I remember shortly after I drove it, the days went on after I started to drive it.
Right.
It was a carbureted truck, basically. So it didn't have fuel injection for all the nerds out there, but carbureted. And a lot of people put like fuel injector cleaner, or not fuel injector cleaner, just carburetor cleaner stuff, fuel system cleaner to help the carburetor keep from being gummed up and everything. Right. And I remember I was driving it, and it had a noticeable amount of more power, like a lot more than I remember when I had just gas.
No kidding.
It's a lot closer to race fuel.
Yes. And so...
That's what we learned in the movie, actually. Pump.
Yep. And so...
I didn't need to watch it. I already knew it.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we'll...
it's cool. It just puts it all together. But.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what is this stuff? It's like, I had no idea what it was.
It's fucking magic. What the fuck?
I started learning about it, and I actually took the air intake off and stuff, and I looked at the carburetor, and you can see, I remember looking at it. It was so freaking clean.
Yeah, like it's a visual difference.
Yes, it took off, which is,
it says a lot.
Down.
Right. It burns so much hotter.
Yeah, well, there's yes and, there's more to it. So...
Well, of course, there's more to it.
So
and go into that why
and
more to it. You kind of gave your whole beginning story about it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's a perfect fuel. There's upsides and downsides.
Well, we'll talk about that.
So
give us more details about ethanol and E85 and all that stuff.
Yeah. So basically, ethanol has been around.
How's it made and stuff?
It's shit in my mouth. It's basically from any plant products that are like fermented. We just watched it. We were just watching.
Well, yeah, the main one in America is
How do they describe
corn,
it?
Right.
Yeah.
But it can be made from, like, what was it, cactus too, right? Or
It can be made from a lot of different plant-based products.
Right.
So the biggest one by far, bar none, is corn. And that's just because it's one of the most commonly harvested ones, and it has the correct enzymes and compounds and everything else within it. So it's a lot easier. But other ones are like, you can make it from like soybean, you can make it from seaweed, you can make it from a lot of different things.
Okay.
Yep. So it's very cool, the process. And they were actually explaining how when they make people were worried about, corn's, well, I guess corn being taken away from like our food supply, and we're then we start, burning our food. Well, we actually use it for cattle feed, and when you create,
this was pretty interesting.
Yeah, how they create the cattle feed is the byproduct ends up to be ethanol, so we might as well use it for fuel.
Right, because people are saying that we're using too much food, but that was more of like a conspiracy almost, like and it was like it was pushed through like mainstream media and stuff, and it ended up like kind of sort of convincing everybody that it was using food. In reality, we're actually mainly use the stuff that we use, like the corn and all that, with the process of that for like feeding animals and stuff. And when we do that, it actually creates ethanol, like you said.
Yep.
So
and how cool is that?
It's like a win-win.
It's super
in
cool.
that regard.
So, it's very cool, and I think the biggest thing is having fuel choice in general. There's other fuels, and like Brazil. We were reading Brazil. You have a choice at the pump. You can get ethanol or gasoline. Right. So, so I did a little experiment. So
before you get into that,
I'm
excited to have you talk about that. But
what are you thinking?
Why? I want to kind of be like I want to kind of guide you.
Yes.
And I want to ask you questions to try to guide you because you know a lot about this subject.
Yeah.
Why don't we have a choice?
This is good. Yeah. So
because 99, maybe not 99, but like pretty much 99% of gas stations you go to do not have.
Yeah.
It's just gas.
Yeah. It's probably 1 in every 15 gas stations probably will have an ethanol only option.
Right. So
it's crazy.
It's most gas stations obviously, and I think more importantly, nobody knows anything about. It's just gas. That is truly 99% of people really only know about.
Well, a
gas.
huge portion of them actually don't even advertise it, but they do add in like 20% ethanol to their gases.
Sticker. It's like 20% like alcohol and stuff, right?
Yeah, ethanol. Yeah.
Right.
So, So the reason we don't have it, there's no real like conspiracy here. This is it's really the reason, is the oil companies only want. The oil companies only want you to buy gasoline, that product.
Well, it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So this is why there's no like competition and choice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And so there's like that fuel station that was in Colorado, the ethanol station that I had got ethanol for my Jeep, went through emissions. That I remember it got bought out.
Yeah, it's closed
by a company. Yep. And I walked in and I said, "What happened?" I asked the guy up front. I said, "What happened?" It's because it was gone one day. The pump was gone, and then they changed the whole. I'm not going to say what company it was. But I walked in. I said, "What happened?" The guy that was working there was like, "I don't know, man. Like we sold, and we were out every weekend of ethanol. Everyone
was buying them.
Everyone was buying it because the cars that were tuned and stuff, race cars and all that, people loved it." And it was gone, and that was the only one in that area. I mean, I think you had to go to Denver for like another one. So, basically the oil companies only want you to use gasoline, and any time that it's challenged, there's ethanol that's there, they paint a picture that it's a terrible fuel. Everyone believes it. They buy these pumps out, or these private companies, and then they just repeat the process. And so it's pretty...
Well, it only makes sense, right, for them?
Yeah.
Because more money, right?
Yeah.
It's taking away from their money. And
it's literally the same thing as if like Apple talked bad and like said all these horrible things about Samsungs.
Yeah, true.
It would be the same exact thing.
And there's not a lot of Samsung.
And this one's to like the highest level because of how long it's been going on and how much money and how big of a business and industry it is.
It's unbelievable.
It's crazy because of like how much also people don't know anything about it, right?
That's another thing. It's not advertised anywhere, and I believe that if it was, then it would be hushed.
Well, I mean, there's those websites where you can like literally look up ethanol gas stations.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. So another thing, if
God,
anybody's
my voice is so hoarse after that fucking speech.
Yeah,
it was worth it.
It was so worth it.
For America.
So I'll try to think of some other stuff here. Let's see. But another thing, if
so essentially the like big oil companies, like Big Oil, has been buying out stations, like you said, and just
like privately owned.
Yeah, other companies. Like a perfect example of this was in what year was that? Like the 40s or something like that. I think it was the 40s. It was like right after World War II or something like that.
So yeah,
I don't know. Don't quote me on the time, but
it's all good.
In California, They still have a lot of these, but was it California? Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, I think San Francisco or something.
It was LA actually.
LA. Yep.
Because these are still all around and stuff, but in LA back then they came up with this like rail car system, right? That just uses like the electricity, the cables from the electricity from the cables.
The cable cars.
Right. Well, magically they just all got bought out randomly and destroyed. All the rails, the rails got torn up and stuff. Randomly. It was like, what? And then here come all these gasoline buses that came out, and it was like, oh, these are better for this reason, but obviously,
and they were like the light rail stations in Denver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. And there were several oil companies were actually taken to like court over it, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they were guilty.
Yeah, they did get guilty and that's why we see rail car systems today. Although I hear Denver's rail car system might be getting rid of it, actually.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I swear I heard that.
They were just
Don't
building
quote me,
that.
but I swear I heard that.
I don't know, but like there's been talks about them like trying to expand that all the way into the mountains.
Maybe they were getting rid of like a section of it or something. Maybe that's what I heard. But
there's a chance of redoing a section. I don't know, but like they literally just expanded to DIA, and they are planning on expanding all the way into the mountains, like the closest possible ski resorts, essentially.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're not going to like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But
who knows?
If you have any information on that in Denver, let us know. But yes, go ahead. Keep going, Dilly.
They can't get rid of those. Those are great.
Yeah. They are great, but maybe that's big oil.
Who knows?
Can you imagine coming back?
Yeah. So basically, a lot of people are probably like, why run ethanol in your cars too? Well,
what's the pros and cons before you give us this Spark story? What's your pros and cons right now?
The pros.
I want to talk about his con that it runs hot. I want to hear what your thought is on that.
Okay, it's interesting.
What's the pros first?
The pros is when you buy ethanol.
Why should people buy it?
First things first.
Yeah.
The economy. When you buy it, that money stays in America. It's going directly to America, baby.
Amen. Yep.
And that's going circulation America.
So
we're not giving money to anyone overseas.
Right.
That's us. So another reason. People are always talking about climate change, whatever. I don't know. It's, gasoline burns dirty. Cars are bad. All that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
And
why people want to go fully electric? All that stuff.
Yes. Yep. Yes. And ethanol burns. It's not completely clean. Just like a grill. Just like any other weird fucking anything that doesn't.
Yeah, but like propane. Yeah. Right.
So, but it burns very clean. And when you have a vehicle that runs on ethanol, and then you have a catalytic converter. It burns so clean. The catalytic converter turns your emissions or your basically from gasoline. Well,
it's a sponge for toxic things. There's precious metals in that. That's why they get stolen all the time because precious metals, they're super expensive to make. But those precious metals, literally like a magnet or a sponge that literally pull in and collect all of these like nasty fucking gases, which is also why like a catalytic converter after so many years has to get replaced because like it obviously can only suck up so much.
So I don't know. I know.
I see.
Yeah, one of the metals is called it's palladium. Something's other weird, but it turns your emissions to hydrogen. So a lot of people that's so crazy. Yeah. So when you partner that with ethanol, it runs so clean, it's comical.
Right.
Like
if great example is when that doctor lit the gas versus the ethanol, or it was actually methanol.
No, methanol in this case,
fire.
which is wood green
alcohol. But same thing. Instead of corn, it's wood. But right. So lit the methanol and the gasoline on fire, and the gasoline obviously burned like straight black. You know what I mean? It was just that's what's going into the air is that black smoke and everything. The fucking methanol was just clear as day. The blue flame, clear as day. Like just, and then when it cleaned off the disc, it was nothing even happened. So pretty amazing.
It's amazing, and I'm trying to think. Yeah, cheaper, yes, and here's
cannot be.
Okay. So yes, so here's the trade-off. So this is I'm looking at this fair both ways. So cheaper at the pump, but ethanol I know for a fact. Read this somewhere. It has 30% less energy than gasoline, which means your car has to run more rich. So a rich mixture. So you're using more fuel. So is it really cheaper?
Right. It can't go
1,000%. I would say it's more expensive because my old truck, my Ram 1500, could run E85. It was designed, it was able to do that and like reprogram itself. It like recognized like, oh, you're running this and blah, blah, blah.
Nice.
Yep.
If with regular like mid-grade,
right,
like E87 gasoline, I would be getting in the city probably 14 to 15 miles a gallon.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's more expensive.
13 to 14, yeah. 13 to 15.
Right.
Anywhere there depending on how I'm driving.
Okay.
With all straight ethanol in it,
right,
my gas mileage would go all the way down to like at very best 11.
Wow.
Yeah. It goes down quick. So it definitely does. So those are the downsides, or that's a downside. It definitely, I think it has the potential, maybe not every car, but has potential to help make more power if you have like a boosted turbocharged car. If it's tuned correctly.
That would make sense, right?
So yeah, tuned correctly with like the timing, because the ignition timing probably has to change a little bit. So, so can I get my experiment? You ready for this?
Well, let's talk about first of what's like it running hot. Why does that happen?
So
what's the downsides to that happening?
I don't know. I truly don't know.
Okay.
So
if it runs hotter, I've heard it runs cooler, but I've only because people use it for performance, like in their cars. I've heard that it can run cooler. I don't know, but I could actually verify this. I have a pyrometer, so that measures the temperature of your engine. I have one. I could actually do this.
Pyrometer.
Pyrometer.
Yeah, so from what I've always understood, so maybe running hotter is the complete opposite. Maybe it is running cooler.
Okay.
And whatnot, but it's more powerful.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Okay. That is, so maybe me saying running hotter is just saying more powerful.
I see.
Which in turn could make a whole engine.
Right.
Maybe the flame itself is not hotter.
Right.
Like it doesn't make as much heat energy as regular gasoline.
Okay.
But the fact that it makes more power causes temperatures to rise with friction in your engine faster because, and that's like the big.
That makes sense, I guess.
That's why it's like big on performance cars that are like people like did a stage 2 turbo kit or something like that and they want more power and this and that.
Yep.
It's a more consistent burn than gasoline because like they put through it and all this and that. But the fact that it makes more power, it allows like, and that makes you think it has better gasoline. But the fact that it burns faster is and the fact that you have to run it rich because it burns faster is why you actually go down in gas mileage normally.
Yep.
If in like a specifically tuned car, it might actually do better.
Yep.
But in any general Ram 1500 like mine, you're going to lose gas mileage because of how you have to do it.
He's nailed it. Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
But with that added power, the worry is in the running it hotter per se, you can wear out mechanicals. It will run cleaner, so you're not going to have like buildup of soot and shit on your injectors.
Right.
But you are going to have like worn piston rings or
if it runs hot. Yeah.
If it runs more powerful, pushing more heat onto through friction energy of those piston rings on the piston wall and shit like that, you're going to burn through an engine faster because of that.
Another thing.
Theoretically,
yes.
And also
agree with that.
Could be theoretically or proven. What about it standing still?
Oh, yeah. So, like,
what about that?
If it were to sit in your tank.
Right.
So, another thing, which I do believe this, I think this is a fact. Ethanol, like any fuel, is not good to sit for months on end.
Right.
But I think ethanol is more susceptible to cause corrosion because it's hygroscopic. Just like, that's the big word. So brake fluid does the same thing.
Yeah, so there's two different things, hydroscopic and hydrophilic. So can you explain those two differences?
So I don't know what hydrophilic means, if I'm honest.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do you not know either?
I thought it was,
I do.
Okay,
I thought I gave Dilly a softball.
No, I don't. I know hygroscopic is what I learned. I don't know if it's hydro.
So there's hydroscopic and hydrophilic. It's the same way how atoms work.
Okay.
And cells in your body. And cells in your body. So hydroscopic and hydrophilic.
Shit away from me.
Oh,
sorry. So hydroscopic, hydrophilic. So cells in your body literally do this and whatnot. Right. Soap is another example. Like when you always learn this, they use the example of soap.
Right.
Or oil on water. So there's like hydroscopic that consumes water and creates it. The water becomes part of whatever it is.
Right.
That's hydroscopic. So it sucks it.
It's hygroscopic, by the way. I'm not doing that to be a dick.
Hygro.
Hygro. I wasn't sure if it was hydro.
It talks about how the water it gets introduced into it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So hygro and then hygrophilic, I guess.
Right.
Not
hygroscopic.
but hygrophilic.
Okay.
So hydrophilic is example would be when you see like oil in water. The oil and the water completely stay separated.
Right.
There's actually like microscopic like fucking tails on the end of those that block off the water so they don't connect actually with each other. They completely separated.
Right.
So that's what you're talking about. Like traditional gasoline and kerosene and stuff like that is petroleum based. So it's hygrophilic. So it has those tails, so it doesn't connect with water. So you're not allowing rust and everything else to do that. Hydroscopic, plant-based stuff naturally will consume a certain amount of water.
Right.
So now when the water gets introduced and you're burning off water, now instead of burning off water, you create steam, and steam creates rust, corrosion, that, the other thing inside of the engine, not just on the outside.
So that would be a con.
Yes,
that would be a con.
Big time.
But if you burn it quickly, like it won't have enough time.
Oh, this guy fucking knows. So that's exactly.
I didn't even watch the fucking movie.
So that's what I'm saying. If it doesn't sit, because people are like, "Oh my god, it's gonna destroy my car," then drive your fucking car. Just drive as you've been driving. If you're gonna let it sit for a couple months, well, then get a bike because you shouldn't have a car. So I think it's
big statement. It's like I'm a motorcyclist.
Right.
I have a motorcycle sitting in your garage right now.
Right.
Every motorcycle has to deal with this. In the wintertime, it sits for 3.5 months.
Yeah.
You do not want ethanol-based fuel in your gas tank.
Yeah.
So, like, literally, motorcyclists will, like, how you search out an ethanol-only gas pump for your car.
Right.
Motorcyclists search out a 0% ethanol because most gases nowadays to cut costs and not cut costs, but, like, lower the cost of the gas so that way you can pass it off the consumer and be competitive.
Of course.
Add a little bit of ethanol-based gas into their thing because it is cheaper.
Right.
So that way they can like lower the cost and be competitive. So that like I was saying earlier, like 20% ethanol or whatever at this gas station.
Right.
So guys will literally search out 0 ethanol whatsoever gas stations so that way they can put that in their motorcycles before winter. So that way during the winter they have those hygrophilic.
I know it sounds weird.
Hygrophilic.
Right.
I might be mismatching the terms. Like one might be the other, and
It's all good.
vice versa and whatnot. But like you know what I mean. The
Right.
hydrophilic gas in it, so that way it doesn't consume any moisture from the air, and it doesn't fuck up your engine while it sits over winter.
Makes sense.
Yep.
So that's why people for bikes and stuff look for 0%. I see.
Yeah, 0%.
Interesting.
Yep, exactly.
So pretty much the cons is it could possibly wear out stuff faster because of how powerful it is.
Theoretically,
we don't know that one.
I'll get my pyrometer, take a little temperature read.
That one's theoretical.
It is proven it doesn't work as good in cold weather.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So,
okay,
ready?
So that and it possible if you let it sit, cause corrosion. And all that.
It may cause likely cause
rust
corrosion.
and all that shit. But
yep,
if you use your car, it's no big deal, and it's just better for the environment and for your car. So
and there's another video that I put in our little idea sheet here, little Google Drive thing.
Yep.
So there was a video on YouTube about the Chevy Tahoe that ran ethanol or E85
for 100,000 miles.
100,000 miles.
Yeah.
And what I thought was very impressive was the fuel
His wallet to afford that.
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
Honest to God. But the fuel pump, a lot of people, which I wasn't sure about, a lot of people think that ethanol, like gasoline has like a lubricating factor, you could say, with your fuel pump.
Yeah, they literally design it with a lubricating factor. Yeah.
Yep. So when you put just alcohol, it's interesting because you wonder, will that destroy your fuel pump? And they found with their evidence that the fuel pump actually was it was not worn very much at all. It was like surprising. It was like, whoa.
Yeah, they worry about the lubricating, which that's an experiment literally anybody can do anywhere. You can buy rubbing alcohol at Walmart, and if you have like a metal table or something like that, like have a little bit of grease or whatever on it and then pour rubbing alcohol on it, it will be clean as fuck and your hands will stick. It won't slide anymore. It's like it just got cleaned.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so that's what they thought was going to happen. There was going to be all that like little bit of lubricant, and like you can kind of slide your hand across the table, and then it turns into like, oh no, it's grippy as fuck because it took all of that off with the rubbing alcohol. They thought that was going to be the inside of the motor,
but no.
Yep. And another thing, everybody uses hand sanitizer, right? That's ethanol, alcohol.
Yep.
So it's ethyl alcohol. So
there you go.
That's another interesting thing. Wow. I'm not drunk, but geez. Apparently I'm slurring my words.
You ain't work tomorrow?
I know.
Keep going.
No, I'm just saying a little bit,
I'll get you a White Claw.
So, all right, babe. So,
you want to get into your...
So this is where it gets...
I've been holding you back. Go for it now.
So good. I'm ready. Like a dog running out the cage.
You want more? Tanner, you want more?
I'll have a little bit.
Fucking hit me up. It wasn't asking you.
Well, let me get a little...
Hey, hit me at that. All right, no, you talk. I'll pour you.
All right. So I did a little experiment going on now. Because I got a 2011 Ford Focus with a 2-liter 5-speed transmission. I like the car. It's all right. It's a piece of crap, though. I would definitely put it in Car Crusher. I would do not care about it.
Nice.
So it gets me A to B. It's cool, really. I like it, But I said, you know what? I'm going to put its life on the line here. I've heard that you can...
Because he has 2 cars.
Yeah, I have 2 cars. I got 2 cars.
Rich. You got 3.
Anyways, so don't make me sound like Brad. So
you are.
I was like, thinking there's this guy on YouTube. What's his name? Man, I'm gonna remember it. Anyways, this guy on YouTube, Nathan BMW Tech, or like Nathan's BMW DIY Garage or something like that.
Shout
BMW
out.
guy.
Anyway.
So yeah,
was he the one with like that? I'll let you continue.
All right.
Okay. I was gonna fuck it up, so
all right, it's all good. We'll talk about it. So, he has this whole video. He explains, and I saw this years ago. He explains. He's like, you can run any car on ethanol, and I'll explain why. Basically, I put 100% E85,
right,
2 full tanks,
2 full
tanks.
Okay,
it drove great. But I'll explain what's happening. He said what's going to happen. He's like, it was a theory, of course, but it's very interesting. He said your O2 sensor is going to read that it's lean. So it's going to run very rich, right? And he said the check engine light's going to come on. There's code for it, whatever. So it's going to look at it as an issue. But your engine will fix the timing. It's all electronic. You have ignition coils. It'll fix the timing.
Yeah, the ECU will map it out.
Yeah, so it'll just be like, okay, we can figure this out. But it's going to, in the meantime, it's like, it's lean, so I'm going to run really rich, which is exactly what a flex fuel tune is. So I said, you know what, let's give it a shot. And I've mixed it before in like some cars, but I was just like, fuck it, filled it up, check engine light came on, it was like cool, and it actually idled very smooth, and it actually made a little bit more juice, a little bit more power. And
really?
It's not like actually bullshitting. I was like,
yeah, it's got that more power in it.
I noticed that because already that engine only has 140 horsepower. It's like nothing. And I got to like
golf cart
5,000 RPM, and I'm just absolutely ripping her. And so usually when I get past 5,000, it would just be like, it just could not do it anymore. But it had like this kick in the ass. After 5,000, it kept pulling, and that's the difference. I noticed. I was like, whoa.
This is a good question. When you went to Colorado,
yeah,
did you have E85?
I didn't have E85 only because of the fuel mileage issue.
Yeah,
I wanted more fuel mileage. So, which I'm glad I didn't do that, because from Idaho to Salt Lake City, from Boise, anyone wants to know, there are no gas stations for at least, I don't know, a long time. At least almost to Salt Lake.
Yeah, when you're
E85.
getting near the Idaho border, it's like you have to get almost to Ogden before you see a gas station.
Yes, and it was a little bit, I was on edge. My gas light wasn't on yet, but it had to have been damn close.
Yeah, like there's a solid like 65 miles where you're not going to have a gas station.
Yeah.
Where
I had 50-mile range left, approximately 50 miles, and I was like, ooh, and then I got a gas station. So
yeah,
but like Mail was talking about though, it was all just me experimenting. It was cold a couple days. It was like 12
really
degrees 12 degrees in the morning. And I've heard, it's hard to start up because it's 105 to 110 octane fuel. It's hard to ignite. So I went to start it up in the morning. It misfired, died, started up, misfired, and it died. and then I gave it a minute, started up again, and then it finally misfired a little bit, and then it started up, and it was fine. So it was really hard. And the cold, that's the downside. The cold, for sure. Flex fuel or not, that's the downside. So that was very interesting. But other than that, I was like, it ran great. It was good. I clicked my little fuel mileage little reset button, and I got 32, 33 miles per gallon. It was averaging before. And then I filled it up at E85. I think it's at like 25. It dropped a lot. So but I'm glad that the computer registered it. That was interesting to see it. I clicked reset multiple times, and I was like, cool. So it's registering that, it's calculating it.
So you did more to your experiment.
Yeah. So anyways, sum it up. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the spark plugs out, get new spark plugs, because I don't know when this had spark plugs the last time. So I was like, we'll just see what the plugs look like. And approximately, probably like 600 miles or something, 2 full tanks.
Right.
We'll put a photo of this on the pod.
Yeah.
Or not on the pod, on the, somewhere. If you can edit it in.
I'll just hold it up to the camera right now. Hold on, while you talk about it.
It's a very clean burning fuel. It actually is amazing. It's not lean. I'll explain the difference between. Folks, come on, baby.
I think a photo might be better.
Oh, there we go. Oh, it actually, a photo might be better. But so you can see for all the car nerds out there, there's no carbon build. Like we're barely any carbon buildup. I'll show male too. It's amazing. So when you have the difference, when you have like a lean spark plug, if it's running lean completely,
right,
you'll have the ceramic in the middle of it will be completely white. It'll look completely like no carbon at all.
Right.
And the electrode will be completely clean. Like it'll be noticeably like, okay, there's like no fuel on this thing. Yeah. And then when you have it rich, it's going to be covered in black soot and all this, carbon shit. So it's going to look fouled. But when you have a good burning spark plug, you look for a nice, carbon buildup around the electrode and in the middle. Well, I guess outside. And on the ceramic, you want a little bit of carbon. And that's exactly what you can see on this. We'll get a close-up photo. But it's not as white as, the top of the...
I'll take a picture right now.
So
some good lighting.
So yeah, it's very, very cool. It was a neat experiment. But so it's just, I don't know. I'll have to see how hot the engine runs. I have to do like a exact amount of time, same route, same drive or something like that, and see, drive the car the same. Yeah, that's pretty solid. That's a good one. And see what the temperature is.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I'm glad I kind of did this. It was, you gotta get one with the. Oh, okay. We'll figure that out.
Okay.
So
anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it's pretty cool, and everything on that car is cheap. If it blew up, I could give a fuck less. Honestly, I just went for it.
So, I'm vibing. I didn't have to watch the movie. I was holding conversation pretty good.
Yeah, no kidding.
But
it's probably mainly for me, honestly.
It
taught me a lot.
Yeah.
I was assuming this was how the conversation was going to go,
right?
Not knowing how you were going to go with it. So, are you pretty much done with what you had prepared?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so I want to bring in my conversation pieces because I wanted to add even deeper into this.
Okay.
Yep.
So, you pretty much opened up an opportunity with just one other fuel source option.
Yeah.
So you had traditional petroleum, and then plant-based ethanol fuel.
Right.
Yep. And there are others.
Yeah, there are others. So right now, America is going through the electric revolution right now.
Oh yeah.
So
ain't that the truth?
Yeah, California is saying it can't be fossil-based fuels or whatever by 2035, which is a fucking insane goal to make. That's going to be near to impossible to reach.
Yes.
Because
what year?
2035.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So. Or something like that.
I think it was that. Yeah, I think you're right.
Something like that. So that's near to impossible because the electric. So their whole idea about that is you want to have zero emissions. So literally there's zero emissions based straight out of the vehicle, but the emissions it takes to mine the stuff for the batteries, and then the emissions for the electric factory.
Right.
That's not the right word for it.
It's all good, brother. We knew we'd talk about.
Anyway.
We know. Viewers might know, but that's all right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, then there's, like, arguments about coal versus nuclear versus what renewables like solar and this and that and blah, 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 which I don't really want to talk about that. I'm just going to talk about, like, fuels based solely on what the vehicle is using when you're driving it.
I see.
So, like, with electric, you have to think about the precious metals and stuff like that,
right?
And how they only last so long. And like the whole idea of why you want variance is options are great, but like the main point is climate change right now. Like that's why so many options are wanting to be placed. And you said it yourself, like it's such a cleaner burning fuel, ethanol versus traditional. So one answer that the world is giving is electric, but it's like my biggest gripe against that is what happens when the batteries can't be used anymore?
Of course.
That's what I was thinking. Where do you dispose of them?
France has acres and acres of lots of electric cars that they used as like city vehicles, government vehicles, and all they're doing is fucking like strip bearing the fucking landscape and polluting it like it's fucking Chernobyl.
Yeah, and you can't touch it once it's...
Yeah, it's literally like fucking thousands of government French vehicles that were all electric that like they can't do anything with because there's no processes. I'm sure as the world continues, a smart motherfucker that's way smarter than us is going to figure out, oh, you can use a spent lithium battery like this and then turn it into this, which is literally like what nuclear energy has done. Like nuclear energy used to be
that's
like...
That's a good point, yep.
Yeah, it used to be this, and then you distill it down into high fucking plutonium, which is weapons grade, and then this and that. But then a smart motherfucker was like, but then you can use that and distill it down into this, and then you can get a second repeat of this, and then once you distill that down, it's inert and pointless. So then you get 2 lives out of the nuclear energy, and once you're done with both lives, it's pointless.
Right.
Which is cool. So maybe one day electric will be like nuclear in that sense, where someone's going to figure that out. And when they do, it's going to be great and it's going to be wonderful. A lot of companies like QuantumScape, Solid Power, stuff like that are trying to figure out solid state batteries that last so much longer, hold a better charge, are usable after the sense and stuff like that.
Right.
Which will be great. But until then, electric, I think, is off the table.
Right.
Ethanol is an option, but the problem with ethanol, and you talked about it, the myth of like, then you're taking away food supply.
Right.
And this and that. And right now, the biggest positives, I would say, for ethanol is its cost value and its accessibility.
Right.
Yeah.
The problem is if you go to scale, like we're talking right now, like it's like 25 to 35 cents cheaper. So it is very noticeable, 25 to 30 cents cheaper a gallon than traditional gas.
They were saying it like $1 or $2.
Well,
cheaper.
yeah, but that was a long time ago. Nowadays, it's 20. It used to be, but now it's probably 25 to 30 cents difference.
It used to be
a lot, but
yeah.
It used to be. I remember when I filled up in Colorado. It was
I remember those days when I was driving my 03 Suburban and I put fucking E85 in it too. It was like $1.50 cheaper. Mm-hmm. But nowadays it's like 25 to 30 cents.
Yeah.
So it is cheaper and it is accessible because we have plenty of corn growing. Yeah. But if you go to scale, like right now it's 1 in every 25 or 1 in every 15 gas stations provide straight ethanol.
Right.
What happens if every gas station does that?
Right.
Then you do run into, then it is a legitimate problem of supply. Like, how the fuck are we growing that much corn and this and that?
Oh, yeah, like
That's
how?
a good question.
Like, how can you do that? And then when it is such a demand at that point, all of one of your biggest pros of it being cheaper than gas goes out the door because the demand will skyrocket that price up.
Well, here's another thing, though. It's a very good point. But ethanol is still added to gasoline.
Yes.
So there's still quite a lot made.
There's still quite a lot made, but if every gas station in America or every other gas station in America had that option
of straight E85.
just straight E85, it would change.
Yeah.
The demand would skyrocket, prices would skyrocket with the demand.
Naturally,
and then supply would fucking try to race to catch up, which is why I am looking forward to E85 because there's a lot of companies and research labs in California right now that are developing ways to farm harvest seaweed.
I found that out. And algae and stuff.
Seaweed is one of the best alternatives to corn because it's 85% water and it has this and that going to it.
Crazy.
So it is a huge plus side because like it's the ocean. So like
it is.
Literally it's not like you're going to you might fuck up some fish stuff and stuff like that.
It's possible.
But like you're not going to take up human land resources
Right.
by doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the land at the bottom of the ocean, no one gives a fuck if you're farming seaweed from there.
Of course.
Pretty much. So like if you can do a 6,000 acre farming of seaweed off the coast of California
Right.
and get just as much as a 6,000 acre corn,
Right.
that's amazing.
It is.
It's just like the process of like harvesting it and the process of like
It would still be
doing this. It would still be E85,
absolutely, yeah,
but how you turn seaweed into E85 is a little bit different than corn naturally, just because it's a different plant.
Of course.
Yeah.
And how to harvest it is going to be different, and this and that. So like if they can get those techniques down and make that, then it's way more scalable.
We're just unlocking
and
more
E85
skills
is
as
great.
humans.
Oh yeah. I just think I would
We're
hope there.
evolving.
I would hope there is a point where people kind of wake up and realize like there needs to be a choice of fuel in general.
Well, I think
if there is that.
that's got to be the first step.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is how much people are uneducated in this topic.
Yeah, it's not their fault. It's
No,
just
it's not their fault at all.
Not talked
It's
about.
quite well by a lot of things actually.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. It's just it's been hidden from them.
Yeah.
And forced to be hid from them because
Yeah.
big money.
Oh,
So
definitely. Yep.
I think that's going to be the first step is getting the 90% of people that have no idea
Yeah. So then
educated.
off of E85,
Yes.
Okay.
my last two things, and then we can go to different topics.
Yep.
Off of E85, hydrogen.
Oh yeah.
Hydrogen's a fucking cool thing. BMW bought a giant fucking wind farm in Chile because that's the biggest problem with hydrogen. Hydrogen
Okay.
is the cleanest option possible
Right.
because when you burn hydrogen, it creates water.
Yeah, how crazy is that?
Literally, you just shit out water.
You
You don't have an exhaust pipe. You have a fucking drain pipe. You have a drain pipe instead of an
That's
exhaust pipe.
fascinating. What the fuck?
Yeah. Hydrogen.
You ever hear about that?
Hydrogen car?
Yeah, you hear about that guy that created the hydrogen car?
Yeah, burps.
Is that his name?
Well,
And,
well, no, like the car burps.
oh. Well,
It does. So that's the problem.
his
Like,
name.
literally, technology isn't there.
Of course.
Because hydrogen, so that's one of the things that before we started recording and you guys are asking what I was doing,
Of course.
I was looking up some numbers so I can spit them at you.
Oh,
So hydrogen is more expensive than gasoline right now.
Stanley.
Yeah, so right now hydrogen is so it is right around $10 more expensive per kilogram than gasoline.
I see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
It can't be a main player because of how expensive.
yeah, so it is more expensive. But the reason why it's more expensive and why so many people have just wrote it off in the past
Right.
is because it takes electricity. So it's called hydrolysis or something like that, where it's literally like you take water or something, basically, and you shoot it through multiple foils. And these
Okay.
foils separate the water with the oxygen from the hydrogen. So it just poops out
Okay.
the oxygen
Interesting.
and collects the hydrogen
I see.
and whatnot. So that's really sweet,
Yeah.
but it takes a lot of electricity. That's why BMW bought that giant plant in Chile,
Okay.
because Chile has some of the most consistent and most high winds in the world.
Right.
So
Wow.
that's really the only way you can make that a true clean energy
Right.
is by using renewables like wind or solar.
I see.
Yeah.
So it's limited, and then it burps because like you need to burn liquid nitrogen
Uh-huh.
most of the time
Yeah.
or something like that. So like when you're to make consistent. So the engines, BMW, it's all German cars that do this right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
The engines burp.
Okay.
And by
Like
burp,
literally burp.
it sounds like it's burping.
I see.
Yeah, because of the rapid change.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because it's not the same, but it's kind of the same as liquid nitrogen. Like
Okay.
I
it
see.
has some
Yeah.
dramatic temperature changes and stuff
Interesting.
like that and whatnot.
I
So
see.
like when you're trying to burn it, it burns, but it's really, really, really hard to create a consistent burn
Okay.
versus ethanol or gasoline or something like that. It's
see.
not as mechanically, we're just not there to make a consistent burn of hydrogen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it burps.
I see.
And it's so expensive to make and to just make pure hydrogen cells
And that's hydrogen. Okay.
and stuff like that. But they're pushing forward. BMW they're going into limited production of a hydrogen only SUV, which is really exciting.
right.
You have to see these companies push money towards it. Of
course.
So BMW having this hydrogen only
how
SUV
you
going into
advance the-
limited production.
That's how you advance the technology.
Yeah,
Yep.
them
It's very cool.
buying out this huge area in Chile to make a hydrogen farm crazy. Stuff like that. So hopefully that's going to continue further because hydrogen, I feel like, could be an end of conversation if we can make it affordable.
Right. Oh yeah.
And accessible. It's great.
Oh yeah.
There's something like less than 5,000 hydrogen stations in the whole entire United States.
Yeah.
Less than 5,000 places in all of the United States that you can buy just pure hydrogen.
Right.
So it's not accessible. It's not feasible.
It's not
right now. But it's exciting. If it can get pushed, it could change.
That would be crazy.
And it would be great.
That's definitely
having a drain pipe instead of an exhaust pipe would be cool.
Pretty ridiculous to think about.
Yeah.
So another thing, along the same lines. I was looking it up. I remember hearing a while ago there was a guy that somehow he ran like a car off of water and then it turned to hydrogen or something. So I have the article here. Stanley Meyer was his name. He created a water-powered car. And, we were talking about how oil companies they don't want different fuels and stuff like that, especially not water-powered cars. Yeah. So basically he went to meet with all the oil company big guys.
Big oil.
Yeah, big oil.
What year?
98, March 21st March. Yep, 1998. He went to meet these guys. He had to sip some cranberry juice, and his last words were, "They poisoned me," and then he died.
Yeah. So I think this is a giant myth.
So crazy.
Oh,
really, really.
So like, I think it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's a conspiracy tinfoil hat thing.
Of course it is.
So like you can totally see where they're coming from, where it's like this guy found a way to literally end every oil company's existence.
Right.
In the 90s.
Right.
When we're like fucking happy and content at fucking 9 miles a gallon in our Chevy Suburbans.
Of course.
So like they're fucking terrified of that idea. So yeah, I can see where people are coming from that, but where I say like it's a fucking death to that idea, like that actually happened.
Let me hear it.
We advanced so far, and there's literal backyard scientists all across the nation and across the world. You're telling me that if that is a known story, that someone somehow figured out how to create a car running off of water in the 25 years since that day. No one's been like, I'm going to figure it out also.
Or
like there's nobody in the back of Arkansas, someone in the backyard in Arkansas or upstate New York or in India or in fucking Romania or in Finland or wherever in the world, and they didn't manage to figure it out as well.
Well, I think
it could be that, or is it more of just they just don't want like this ideology just to get out there, like period. They just want people's minds to be fixated on gas and oil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe they just wanted to get rid of them just to make sure there wasn't any other thought than gasoline. You know maybe that was just, I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, that makes sense too. I think
maybe it was less about it actually was possibly the future, but maybe they just don't want people to even think about other possibilities. Maybe.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe. So maybe that's it.
Who knows?
I do think there's got to have been someone that tried to carry on with it after this guy died.
And surely, after all these years, there's no way that no one would have been able to not figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the diagram.
I believe
maybe
that too.
Tanner might be able to pull it up.
Maybe. You send it.
We'll find it.
Yeah.
So you can see it.
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
So.
There's, schematics, literally basic, very rudimentary schematics of how it works.
Of course.
So it shows everything, and I believe he was an engineer of some sort before he did this, of course, yeah.
It's an interesting story, nevertheless.
It's
too, I don't know. It's definitely too suspect.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm not. Well, it can't be a coincidence. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Whether it's for their ideology that it was like this was going to take over our, businesses and all this stuff and the future of big oil and stuff, or it was just going to blind people to what we're doing, and make them think about something else, or it was just bullshit. So,
yeah.
Either way, it's but suspect. So it's an interesting story, but there's been plenty of other reasons or to look at them like that. Excuse me. Oh, speaking of burp, like the train car or like the electric rail car and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's happened before, so I could see it.
Yeah, it could happen
like
again, but like just the fact that like no one has figured it out, like that code has got uncracked by one human being, and then never been cracked by another person ever again.
Right. Or they've taken everybody else out that's done it.
Yeah.
Right.
I just wanted to keep up the tinfoil hat shit.
Okay. Anyway,
You're like, okay, bud.
and then the last thing I was going to say is like,
Go ahead.
then we can just adapt with like mechanical technologies, like smart car. Not a thing in the U.S. anymore. I don't even know if the company still exists anymore.
What? Yeah, what the fuck happened to that?
But
Died.
so
What?
it's a German
I
car.
don't know.
I think they still are around in Germany.
Smart cars?
Yeah,
Were
it's
they
a German car.
I thought they were Japanese.
No, they're German.
Really?
They were
so-
all over in Italy when I was there.
Yeah.
Forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Now you say that is so crazy. I remember seeing them all the time.
yeah. So
God,
there's
I never thought about
so
that.
like that's a great example of adaptivity. Instead of inventing a new fuel,
Right.
just adapt to what you have.
Right.
Smart car created, and granted, it would never be able to be sellable in the U.S. because Americans love being fast and love being big.
Oh yeah.
Hence why
Fast
smart
and big.
car. Yeah. Hence why smart car isn't here anymore.
Mercedes or no?
I guess I'm looking. Yeah, it says.
Mercedes bought them out.
I think so. Mercedes. It looks like.
Huh.
And they make this.
Sorry, keep going.
Terrible.
America,
So
big and
anyway,
fast.
like over a decade ago,
Right.
Smart Car developed and put out and sold cars that
Right.
had a turbo diesel engine.
Right.
That motherfucking engine
Right.
would get you 650 miles on a tank
Right.
and was 84 miles to a gallon.
Jesus Christ.
So that's a great example of adaptivity.
those.
The problem is why I'm saying it would never sell in the United States is because it's like 0 to 60 in 20 seconds and couldn't even break 100.
Yeah. It's just terrible.
So like it's slow, it's tiny,
Yeah.
it's not super
No.
powerful or anything like that. It's not a showster, but like 600.
Very far from. Yeah.
Yeah, so 84 miles a gallon,
Right.
and then you're saying it can go 650. So like what? Like that's like
650 what?
so that's a 7.6, barely under a 8-gallon tank.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You're
Yeah.
spending 8 gallons. So like what? Fucking diesel's what right now? Like
That's
fucking
insane,
like
actually.
like 350 or something. So times we'll just go 8. $28. You can go 650 miles on $28.
That's unheard of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is an example of adaptivity.
Right.
And you're not burning off 45 gallons of diesel like
Right.
you would in a fucking Cummins Ram or something like that.
So interesting.
But instead you're literally you're burning less but going just as far.
Right.
That's a great example of adaptivity
Yes.
to beat climate change versus literally trying to rebuild the wheel essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's
So,
what's
like, that's-
happening with a lot of things.
So like I want to see more companies do that. Like obviously it's tough.
It is
like
tough.
but like that smart car thing, great for Italy.
Oh yeah.
Great, you saw them everywhere in Italy when
Jesus.
you said
Probably
Everywhere.
perfect for the tiny
Per-
roads. and
yeah,
stuff.
Holy moly! They wouldn't park them parallel. They parked them Johns like this because they
No
were so
way.
small.
no, they're like
wouldn't-
bicycles.
They wouldn't stick out in the road. They were so small they could
Wow.
park
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah, they're like fucking bicycles.
They would
Unbelievable.
cars would be like
Squeeze
parked
it.
like this. They park right in between.
Yep.
But not like this, like that. I couldn't
Oh
believe
my
it.
god.
Yeah, so Italy, great.
Wow.
India, wonderful. Probably Japan,
Yeah.
amazing. Like
China.
Dude, America
Yeah.
has big vehicles like
yeah,
trucks. Dude.
we're just designed big.
Yeah.
So that's why I know it wouldn't sell in the United States.
Right.
My
Yeah.
German teacher in high school was like,
Oh, it's terrible. It would kill the oil company because it would be so cheap on gas.
and this and that. It's like, no, just American lifestyle would say, no, I don't
Yeah,
want it.
it's not
Cool
happening.
that I can go like almost 700 miles on $30.
Right.
I feel like
But I want to be big when I do it, so I'll fucking spend like fucking 600
And-
to do it.
and I
instead
feel
of
it's
30.
yeah, like I feel like another thing is our culture we kind of one up each other naturally.
Yeah.
So Italy
Mhm.
they're probably like, we know whatever, smart car, whatever. That's
Yeah.
and here we're like
It's kind of human culture.
Yeah, so like
yeah.
it's
just
cool
natural,
seeing
competitive.
it is cool, but it's such long shots seeing BMW try to build hydrogen cars and companies try to create seaweed farms off the coast of California and
Yeah.
people like trying to fucking upscale fucking ethanol and this and that.
Right.
But that's like those are far shots. Those are trying to hit home runs, hitting a bomb,
Absolutely.
hitting 1,000, and every hit is a home run.
Right.
That's what they're trying to do. But that adaptivity, that's just trying to be fucking hitting 500, and fucking 30% of those are home runs.
Good point.
Yep.
And it's way more realistic, way more feasible, and still does great, and you're still going to get in the Hall of Fame for it. So
True. That's a good point. Dilly, any last points on your subject? I think we got them all.
Yeah, I think that's really about it. So watch the movie Pump. Anybody listening?
Pump. It was pretty good. It's not too long. Hour and 15, 20 minutes, something like that. So it's not too bad. It's just, shit, I know you motherfuckers are on Instagram, as you should be on this Just My Work podcast channel account. But TikTok, I know people be scrolling for much longer than an hour and 20 minutes a day. So just fuck that shit. Watch the movie. Educate yourself. So, yeah, it's pretty good. So, very interesting. Talk about learning a lot. Man, educational episode for us. My goodness. So, proud of you.
Yeah. So moving on to next topic?
Yeah. So I want to talk about first mainly the NFL and then the Facebook thing.
I don't want to talk about Facebook. Can be anytime. I can bitch about that. I want to talk about UFC more than I want to talk about.
We'll talk about that. So pretty much we'll just talk about bullshit for the next 15 minutes for the last
20 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, for the last part of the episode here. So this is what you've been waiting for because you're not nerds like us. Or at least these two.
This is the more traditional.
This is us right here. This is my work. So the fucking, what was his name? That fucking fuck.
Adrian Peterson?
No, that wasn't Adrian. Hold on.
Something Peterson, I thought.
It might have been, but Arian Foster? No. Was it? Maybe. Arian sounds right. Oh, I put in NHL. I'm pulling it up right now. But essentially, this running back that doesn't play anymore.
You'll pull up the name.
I found it.
Oh, there it is.
It is Arian Foster.
Oh, Arian Foster. He was on some podcast.
He was on a macro dosing, I think is what it's called.
Oh, something like that.
Yeah, macro dosing podcast. Right. Was on their podcast and was talking about how the NFL's rigged.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a story that comes out every single game when someone's like, it just worked out too perfectly.
Right.
Of course
there's a script.
Of course the fucking Chiefs beat the fucking Bengals because if the Bengals win, then we don't have a new Tom Brady, and Tom Brady just retired, and we need a new Tom Brady, which is Patrick Mahomes, and we can't have Burrow fucking not fucking let that happen, blah, blah, blah.
So there was a video of someone, joking around.
Old running back that used to be in the NFL.
Yeah, what teams did he play for?
Texans, I think.
That sounds right.
I think the Texans. I could be wrong, but
he was a decent running back. Like he was a known name.
He was pretty good. Yeah. So, so he was saying, for Dilly and the listeners, he was saying that every day, every season, they would get a script, and that every game was planned out already.
Wow.
Every play was planned out. He was literally said that practice every week, they just practiced the script.
So he was joking though, right?
No. He was dead ass.
Oh, he was dead serious.
Yeah.
That video?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
But it's called microdosing, so it's how high are you right now when you're saying this?
So true. So if he just said, look, maybe a ref or player every once in a while gets paid off to maybe miss a play or miss a call or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, you might be right. That might have happened, especially back in the day. But it might happen every so often. Maybe. You might be right. Because there's a lot of money in that fucking industry. So you might be right. Maybe. But fucking motherfucker, I just can't. I'm a motherfucker that likes to wear the tinfoil hat every so often.
Oh yeah,
you got me on that one. But as you probably clearly saw in the last topic. But come on now, the practice one, I just fucking start dying laughing. I'm like, bro,
like Pat McAfee always says, it's the amount of people you have to pay off in perpetuity.
Everybody.
Literally, Terry Bradshaw, fucking Jim Brown, people that are fucking 85 years old and this and that and blah, blah, blah. You have to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of people and make sure they keep their mouths so fucking quiet.
Small percentage would actually say yes to doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's impossible.
It's impossible
that they kept that many people from saying jack shit.
That's why I say, maybe one or two people of all time has maybe tried to rig it and stuff. NBA, it got proven that a ref did try to rig a game, but
and it's happened in the MLB before. I'm sure there's people that are like, I'll get paid fucking 2.5 mil on the side,
right? But you're telling me it was a meme on that page, NFL's meme and Instagram is where we saw this and saw a bunch of fucking beautiful memes. Good. So good. Go to their Instagram, account, NFL memes. Oh my fuck, it's so
Yeah,
good.
it's like Nick Foles when he gets the 2017 script, and that's when he's the backup quarter. He was for Dilly because I know he doesn't know. He was the backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia Eagles were not expected to go to the fucking Super Bowl, and it was also expected that if they were, it wasn't going to be fucking the backup quarterback playing.
Right.
Backup, and if they were going to go and they were going to win, surely it wasn't going to be against a superpower like the Patriots.
Right.
All of those things happened. So, yeah, like it was just like Nick Foles when he gets a script. Me? Me?
Really? Me? It was so good. I could show it to you. But, yeah, we'll go through them after the episode. But, yeah, so essentially, like, the starting quarterback got hurt. He came in, led the team to get to a Super Bowl, played against Tom Brady, the best of all time, and his Patriots, beat him, and he was MVP.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like the most improbable thing
and
ever.
now he's like a nobody again. Like
yeah, he's just a fucking journeyman that just hops from team to team to team to team.
Biggest one-hit wonder of all time.
Yeah, and then it was like Tom Brady looking at fucking Matt Ryan
that was the
in
best
the
one.
script meeting for Super Bowl 51, which is great to bring that up because today is the 6-year anniversary of that happening.
How crazy is that?
Today is the day.
Wow.
6 years ago on the day,
that's amazing.
The Patriots fucking had the biggest comeback ever in Super Bowl 51.
It's got to be the greatest Super Bowl of all time, right?
Oh, yeah.
And
so the meme is like them in the meeting because like how he said it was like they have meetings to practice the script. So it's like the script for the Super Bowl 51.
Quote unquote practice.
Okay, Patriots are going to score 3 points, just a field goal, in 3.5 quarters of football. And in the last quarter and a half, Patriots are going to go on an
less than that.
It was like 3 minutes.
Yeah, 18 minutes.
Yeah. 18 minutes. The Patriots are going to go on an unanswered tear to fucking beat them in overtime.
Right, which is we watched that live.
Yeah,
and
we did.
You were the only one like kind of remotely rooting for the Patriots just because that's how you did shit. Is just you rooted for memes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And just because everybody else were rooting for the underdog and the Falcons, and they were dominating the Patriots. Down 28-3 and came back.
And it was hilarious because I was kind of calling it, but I wasn't calling it because the whole entire game, it was like Atlanta scores. It was just field goal. Atlanta scores. And I was just like crossing my arms. Everyone's hyped as fuck for Atlanta. And I was like, literally, if you just give them a chance to get on a run, they're not going to stop running.
Yeah.
And they were like this and that. And we finally get through like halfway through the third quarter. And I was like, well, that's not enough time to go on a run at this point. So I gave up. But then they start going on a run. And
like everybody else, though.
I was right.
Yeah. The
like
Amendola, was it his name? Or no, Edelman.
Edelman. Yeah, he had the super catch.
It's the super. So Matt Ryan was the quarterback. Okay.
Yep.
The quarterback of the Falcons who choked that game. They were winning by a bunch of points.
It was 28-3.
Somehow lost.
28-3.
They were up 28-3 with 18 minutes left and lost the game somehow. Yeah, ridiculous.
Wow.
So biggest choke in playoff history, and it was in the Super Bowl. So, but Matt Ryan was the quarterback of the team that lost, and Tom Brady was, of course, the quarterback of the team that won. Look at this meme of like the script.
I saw that even on my.
He's like,
he's like,
so
that's
good.
right. You see that? That's a good script right there. I was fucking dying.
Those are the best.
The fucking, it was so bad. The DeMar Hamlin one. He's like, no, get me out of this, bro. I ain't doing that.
No.
It was so bad.
Yeah,
Like,
it was great.
A little soon. But.
Yeah, and it's great to talk about this because the Super Bowl's next week. So
who's winning? Dilly? Eagles?
Eagles, 100%.
Ooh, Eagles Chiefs. Who's winning?
I got to root for the Eagles just because I hate the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're Broncos.
I just heard I've heard that name more.
Yeah, I've told Lady that. She was like, "Who do you want to win?" And I was like, "Well, Chiefs can't win. I can't root for the Chiefs." And she's like, "Why not?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's like because they're in our division. Like 3 teams, no matter what happens, I cannot root for.
Right.
Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers.
Yeah, can't.
No questions.
We don't have to worry about 2 of them, but the Chiefs we do. So.
Yeah.
Because the Chargers will always Charger. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for the Eagles for sure.
Yeah.
Who do I think will win? I think it's gonna be fucking close. I think it's gonna be a great Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think it is too.
It's the best teams all year. They're 2 best teams.
Yeah.
They're the ones that deserve to be there for sure. Although I would love either the Bengals or the Bills to be in there.
I would be happier with Bengals or Bills, obviously.
I think
but
the Eagles would slaughter either of those teams, especially the Bills. The Bills looked trash in the playoffs.
I think the Bengals should have been there more than the Chiefs.
True. It would be. They'd be a game. But I think next year, Bengals could be like legit. You know what I mean? So Bills just can't stay healthy. My God. But
yeah, they were doing so good, and then it's just like, oh no, there goes another. Oh no, there goes another.
Yeah,
oh no, there's goes another.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll have to do an early pod next week.
Yeah.
But
I'm not even excited for the Super Bowl. I'm more excited for fucking UFC 248.
Tell us about it.
That's our next topic, our last topic. So UFC 248.
Before you get into that, Dilly and I don't know shit about UFC.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm pretty much the only fight person here.
Yeah.
I just got so
I like watching it. I just can't follow.
Dude, I got so obsessed. I went so like obviously in the Marine Corps you have McMap. That's a fucking joke, but that's literally mandatory mixed martial arts, combat oriented for the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
The Army doesn't do that. Air Force doesn't do that. It's just the Marine Corps.
Just the Marine Corps. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's a fucking joke, but it is still dope. Like you literally have belts, so that's why you see guys with different belts. Like there's tan all the way up to black, and then you can get tabs. So like red tabs is like
just for that or Marine Corps.
Yeah, just Marine Corps.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah, the Marine Corps martial arts McMap.
I see.
Yeah, so tan, gray, green, brown, black, and then you can get tabs.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, you can get red tabs and shit like that.
Gotcha.
But really, the only people that are successful and really good at it are also disciplined in different martial arts. That's why it's a joke.
Makes sense.
Like the good motherfuckers are also the ones that are going to a Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym.
So it's just a slaughterhouse for the people that know what they're doing versus the people that don't.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like I held my own and whatnot, and I was doing good. I did some Brazilian jiu-jitsu at a gym. I want to get into one here. I just haven't found a good one yet.
Of course.
So if you know a good Idaho Brazilian jiu-jitsu gym, let me know.
Hit us up.
I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to start going to the Brazilian jiu-jitsu again. It was so much fun. I loved it.
That'd be crazy, actually.
Yeah. It's so great.
What a skill to learn.
Jiu-jitsu is so good. Brazilian jiu-jitsu is great, but it is my preference, but like jiu-jitsu.
In general.
It's so good.
Dilly's going in. Look at this. Dilly's got the new schedule for work, so he doesn't go to work on Mondays. Mm-hmm. That boy living it up now on the podcast.
All right. So anyway, back to the fighting.
Yep. Go ahead.
So yeah, like previous podcasts,
UFC.
like I got hyped about the Justin Gaethje Michael Chandler fight.
You did.
Mostly because Justin Gaethje is my favorite fighter.
Okay.
Colorado dude. Well, he's an Arizona dude, but he reps Colorado because he lives there.
Right.
So that's why I love him so much, and he's just fucking dope. He's the highlight reel.
Of course.
And so that one was so good because Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje have two extremely similar fighting styles.
Okay.
Which is pretty much stand. They don't go to the ground. They fucking put it all out on the line, and they fucking love making haymakers and highlight reels.
It's the best right there.
That's why it was such a great fight, and it won Fight of the Year because it was literally every second of that is like, holy fuck, how are they still fucking standing? When was that? It was last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
It won Fight of the Year last year?
Yeah.
For last year? Okay.
Yeah. Or was it 2021? No, it was 2022 because I talked about it on the podcast.
Okay. We have been doing this pod for a fat minute, though. So
yeah. Fuck. Anyway, yeah. So that was a great fight, just because it was like two fucking gladiator barbarians. Wow, Dilly has just glossed over while I'm talking about this.
Oh my god, dude! I was.
Are you all right?
I think my eyes started sagging.
Can you put the microphone up to your face?
Fighting. It's fucking cage fight. How
you want me to fucking the delayed reaction? He's like,
perfect.
That was like an anime
I was
or
looking
something.
at him and I totally zoned out. My right eye just started sagging, and I was like,
so now, so that was like, who's gonna be the better brawler? That was that fight.
You good, dude?
I got to go back on that. I'm sorry on that video later.
Okay.
Early. Never mind.
All right,
Next
yeah.
time.
I'll
So
make a video about it. Don't worry.
it was like,
everywhere.
who's the better brawler? That was the question to be asked because those are the two best
Between those
brawlers.
two guys?
Yeah, they're both
I see.
lightweights. But it was like who's the best brawler in the UFC? Pretty much. Both of those are terrifying human beings, especially Gaethje. Gaethje will fucking change a human's face so easily.
Give me that facelift, not how you want it.
But in the end, it was pretty straightforward. It was just who's the better brawler because both of them American, so it's not like a national competition or anything like that.
Right.
And like Gaethje's Colorado, so it's more like gyms.
I see.
It was more like who's backing whose gym.
I see.
Because fucking Michael Chandler's down in Florida.
Okay.
And whatnot. He has his gym down there, and then Gaethje's in Colorado with Trevor Whitman. So it was more of like whose gym do you back more? But it was still a great fight. It was an amazing fight, most entertaining fight ever. This fight, main event fight, is Islam Makhachev,
Okay.
lightweight champion of the world,
Okay.
current belt holder, versus Alexander Volkanovski.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I've
And
heard that
he
name.
is the flyweight champion of the world.
Okay.
So he's one weight class down in his championship. They're fighting at lightweight.
Ooh.
So Volkanovski's going up in weight. And this is why I'm more excited about this than any fight ever.
Okay.
Because
Ever.
yes.
Wow.
I am so fucking excited.
When is
I
it at?
cannot stop fucking here, let me get the exact day. I'm so fucking excited for it because it's February 11th, 8 p.m.
Shit.
Yeah. Most excited I've ever been for a fucking fight. I cannot wait for it because it's a difference of styles and wills.
The day before the
Yep.
Super Bowl. Shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
man.
Islam trains in Dagestan's camp at Khabib's camp.
Right. Yeah.
So they
Not Russia
fucking
or
yep.
Is that the?
Yeah.
It is.
It's the video you watched. The
Nelk
Nelk.
Boys.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, did you
Yeah.
watch it?
Yeah, Islam's in that video. They were
Yeah.
they were hanging out with
Okay,
him.
that's
watch
what
it,
I was
yeah.
about to say. when
Yeah,
you
I
said
watched
his
it. That was a
name.
great video.
That was
Yes.
beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, Islam
Very
Makhachev.
Very good. Yep.
Yeah, so he's Dagestan. Alexander Volkanovski, he's Australian.
Okay.
Wow.
Australian. Both of them, so here, let me get their records. Both of them only have one loss on their records. So Islam is 23-1.
Classic. Beautiful.
And then, not loss, it's a draw. So 23-1-0
Jesus.
for Islam. Alexander is 25-1-0.
They both only have a draw. Wow.
Yeah.
As their worst
Yep.
match.
Oh wait, no, those are losses. What the fuck? I'm
So
stupid
no
as
draws.
fuck. Draws are
last.
draws are the last. I'm fucking retarded. Whoa, that was really fucking stupid.
That's all right. You figured it out.
Okay, woo.
So one loss, no draws, and a fuck ton of wins.
Yeah, a lot of fucking TKOs,
So
fucking submissions.
They're demons.
So the reason why I'm so fucking excited
Okay.
is because it's both of them are in their fucking primes.
Right.
So like historically, the fight to ever be had that was going to be the greatest fight ever, but never happened, was Tony Ferguson versus Khabib.
Right. Okay.
Because those guys were like, Tony was literally called the boogeyman. He was El Kukui.
Yeah.
He was literally changing human faces.
Right.
Every single fight went on like an 11-fight fucking tear.
Yeah, he was real life Photoshop.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah.
And Khabib's Khabib.
Right.
Yeah.
And was the greatest submission artist in the fucking world.
Nobody better. Yep.
He just knows how to grapple better than anybody. He can grapple a bear to death.
Big grab.
He's probably done it many times.
Yeah. And so it was, but that never happened. Every single time it happened, like someone either like got fucking like a liver disease or a fucking broken
bullshit.
foot or some
Yeah,
fucking
COVID,
gay
some
shit.
bullshit.
So then by the time it fucking happened,
Liver disease, some bullshit.
by the fucking time it happened, Tony
Heart
Ferguson
attack.
was
Nothing I
already,
can't handle.
yeah, he was out of his prime at that point, so it never fucking happened.
Right.
And then Khabib's father passed away, so he did the one last fight against Gaethje in Abu Dhabi, and then retired from fighting after that. Now he just coaches. He's in Islam's corner every single fight.
Damn.
So now he's a
Wow.
trainer, and a promoter essentially,
Right.
and whatnot. So the style is so amazing because Volkanovski is the most robotic, amazing, soaks up knowledge and executes to a perfectionist point
Yep.
I have ever seen.
Yeah.
He just I wouldn't say he's the absolute greatest, but like when you like see how he does his defense and like how he lands up shot combinations
Just super technical.
and like defends against a fucking drop to the ground and shit like that. He just does everything with such an exact and precise execution.
I love it.
It's so great and amazing.
Mhm.
Islam,
Right.
he has a very much rougher style of fighting than what Alexander does. Alexander also has a more well-rounded.
Right.
Like he is pretty good on the ground.
Yep.
He is really good at. He is the best thing he can do is striking. He fucking tagged up Max Holloway so fucking good in his last fight against him, and Max Holloway is arguably one of the best boxers or the best boxer in the UFC.
What kind of fucking person you got to be to do this sport?
Dude, I want to fucking do it.
Get on it.
I want to do
That'd be
it. So Yeah, so if he was able to tag up Max Holloway,
right,
he can tag up anybody. And so, like, just the well-roundedness, but mostly striking.
right.
Islam, really, he's at defense. He's at striking.
Okay.
But God fucking shit, he is the best grappler.
God
So
shit.
what I think is cool is in this sport, like you don't have to be like bulky, massive, big guy. Like
Well, a lot of times you do.
oh yeah, a lot of times you do. But they all have their own body
Yeah.
types, and they're just like so.
There's just a lot of different types of seal, and there's just a lot of different avenues
So-
you can go with that
Yeah.
sport.
This is UFC, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between MMA and UFC?
So MMA is the title of
Is-
the sport, but UFC is the promotion and the company.
So it's
Okay,
like, it's
so
like
like-
the NFL and football.
Because I'm
Yeah,
thinking of Sugar,
exactly.
thinking of Sugar Sean.
Sugar Sean's UFC, yeah.
Okay, all right. Because he looks like a very light guy.
Yeah, he's flyweight.
Yeah, and so but dude's good.
Or no, he's featherweight.
Okay.
He's either flyweight or featherweight.
Because that dude's good.
Anyways.
He can't be more. He can't be. I don't think he's 200 pounds.
No, he.
Probably be like one.
I think he fights at 145.
145.
I think
Yeah.
he fights at
Not
145.
even close to
Light,
200.
light. He's a light dude, but he's lean
Jesus
machine.
I think he does. I don't quote me on that one, but I think he fights at.
Machine, baby.
Lean
I think he
machine.
fights at 145.
Yeah, he's got it. Real light.
So that's
it's
on
cool.
Saturday,
Yep.
this upcoming Saturday. So.
Yep. And so I'm just so fucking excited because, so like the fact that it's just like both of them only have one loss. Right now,
Right.
Volkanovski is stated as the pound per pound best fighter in the UFC.
Right.
If Volkanovski wins, he's a double champ, fifth one
Right.
in UFC history.
Wow.
Amanda Nunes was one of them. Conor McGregor was one of
Is
them.
Volkanovski the
Australian.
Australian?
Islam, if he wins, it's not like he's a double champ or anything, but he solidifies the fact that he is the pound for pound greatest fighter in the UFC at this moment in time.
I see.
He is the best fighter in the planet. So it's insane.
What a title that
And so watching it, it's like, how the fuck is this going to happen? Because like, close to no one can fucking, if he gets you grappling, like Volt's, I've been watching a ton of shit. He's been like pulling in all these jiu-jitsu guys
Right.
and people that are like 205 pounds. They're fighting at 155.
Right.
He's grappling people that are 200 pounds, Volkanovski, to prepare for Islam.
Right.
But still, it's just like, it's Islam. So how
True.
can, if you get on the ground, you're probably fucking well done.
True.
But if you can keep him standing, you
Right.
can keep him standing. The problem is, so like that's why like it's so amazing and interesting for me because it's a battle of skill versus will.
Right. Yep.
You guys watch the Nelkavoy video, and like you can even see it in that. Like they were joking around and whatnot. I don't think he has as much willpower as Khabib.
Right.
Khabib, I think, is more than willing to die in a octagon
Yeah.
before losing.
I would say so.
Islam, I think, is 95% there. There's
Yeah.
I feel like there's 5% of him that's just going to be like, no.
Still crazy motherfuckers.
100% Khabib, but crazy motherfuckers.
Yes. Absolutely insane.
Volkanovski, I think he's like 75, 60% there. Willing
Still.
to die.
Still.
Still.
Absolutely freaking
But
ridiculous.
it's so like that's one of those things. So it's like you have to. I'm so fucking excited for it because literally I know Volkanovski's skill level could punch out, but he has to get a TKO
Right.
or a knockout
Yeah.
before a fucking Islam can pull him into deep water.
True.
That's what I want to see what happens. If he can pull him into deep water,
What are the odds it's a quick fight?
I don't think it will.
Not possible.
Yeah.
So,
long.
and well, no. Here's the only way it becomes a quick fight.
Yeah.
If it's a quick fight, then guaranteed Islam wins. Because the only way it's going to be a quick fight is if it goes to the ground and Islam gets it
That's what I'm
off
thinking.
a submission.
Right. Yep.
If Islam can get it off submission, it's going to be over halfway through the first round. But if it goes distance, I think, so if it goes the distance and no one gets submissions or any knockouts, Volkanovski, I think, will win.
Right.
If it's a first round, I think Islam was going to win. Anything in between, fuck if I know.
Right.
But
Which makes
it's
it
just
so exciting.
yeah, it's so exciting because it's literally like timers are running
Yes.
because Volkanovski has crazy fucking endurance, so he can probably handle pretty deep water, but I don't think he can handle Islam's deep water.
Yep.
So like if Islam can pull him into deep water, I think it's Islam winning it. But if Islam isn't able to pull him into deep water, and fucking Volkanovski can tag him
Right.
before he gets into the deep water,
Right.
I think it's his to win. So it's like timers. Like he only has a limit of time before he can knock him out, before he can pull him in.
Right.
And he has to pull him in way as soon as he can before he can knock him out. And it's just timers going in each direction.
Do you work on Saturday?
Yeah.
You probably still get off before it.
Yeah, I get off at 5, so.
Nice. Shit, might have to watch that shit.
Dude.
What a
Yeah,
weekend that's
that'd
going
be
to be.
It's
That
going to
fight
be
and then the Super Bowl right
such
after
a
that.
fucking fight.
Yeah.
And then there's all the undercard shit and the other co-main events and
course.
stuff like that are going to be fucking amazing and stuff like that. The fight below them are both fucking featherweights. So whoever wins that fight is going to fight Volkanovski next for the
Damn.
featherweight championship.
Jeez.
So the 145 belt. So,
It's a lot to keep up with, but
Yeah.
I guess
but fuck, it's going to be so goddamn
It'll be good.
It's going to be so fucking
I guess a
goddamn
lot of
good.
sports are kind of hard to keep up with, right, Dilly?
Yes. Oh yeah. No, definitely.
Dilly's like, I'm getting
All right,
fucked
Dude,
up.
wrapping it
and
up.
that's why I fucking love it so No, fuck off.
God, dude, I
Dude,
gotta
I'm just
go.
saying, I'm just fucking loving it so much more. Hang on.
Okay, hurry up.
Fuck off, Dill.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Dilly,
I'm
can
just
you
loving it.
fuck off, mate?
Like, I don't know how people don't love. I know the violence of it is a giant factor. But
No,
it's,
sport's great. It's just, I can't. I
But
don't
it's
know.
just like, it's like NHL and stuff like that. So like, I don't know how it doesn't surpass NFL in popularity because literally it's such an international thing. Like Dagestan
it's huge.
stops when Islam fights
Right.
and whatnot. So it's like it's an international
Of course it
recognition,
is.
just like Stanley Cup is.
I love it because it's fucking
And-
barbaric.
It's barbaric, but also it's like there's almost politics and shit involved in the
True.
NFL and MLB
God,
now
isn't
and
there
shit
ever?
like
Fuck, yeah, there is.
this and that. And now, but with the fight, like it's almost impossible to involve politics.
true.
It,
Yeah.
In the end, it's
It's
just
two motherfuckers
who's
going at
the
it
more skilled motherfucker right now.
Yeah. at a pretty ridiculous sport. So
Yeah, like who's the better sportsman? Who is the better sportsman?
You got to be one hell of a savage.
That's it.
Yep. So, yeah, no, obviously it's fucking amazing and it deserve. I mean, those motherfuckers deserve all the money and all that. I mean, it's money that other sports are getting. You know what I mean? Because they putting their body on the line. You know what I mean? So,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
so shit, we might have to watch that. I don't know what the plan is there. Or even with the Super Bowl, I don't know what our plan is, but we'll talk about it. But
Yeah.
so, Dilly, how about we go on another topic? And then, no, I'm kidding.
Tapping out.
Why you got to be a weak bitch?
I am.
We're watching a movie after this.
Yeah, We'll watch.
So that'll
I
be
do
good.
want to
What
watch that
the
movie.
fuck?
Yeah, I do want to watch that movie.
I'm taking advantage
called-
of him not working on Mondays.
What movie you watching?
We're gonna watch Greater.
We talked about it on the pod actually one time, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did.
did.
Greater.
did.
Because I remember popping it up on
Which
the
one's
screen.
that one?
It's like a football movie.
It's a football movie about. I don't even watch the movie. I want to describe it better than you are. But he like an offensive lineman that like walks
look it up or
onto. No, I haven't seen anything. I just
Oh,
know.
how do you know? Is
I
it
just know
Google?
sports, bro. No, I just saw the picture and I already know the whole story.
Oh, okay.
So like offensive lineman that walks onto the Razorbacks of Arkansas and
Oh, okay. Oh, the
Yeah.
dude with the glasses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
You
know
seen
it. No, I know his story.
I see.
I know the story
Don't
behind
spoil
him.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already know it, but don't spoil it. So no, I don't know anything. I'm making. That
Yeah,
shit
I
up.
know his story. I've seen a lot of news articles, and I've like
Okay.
hit the foundation that his family
I'm
has
excited.
and all that.
Yeah,
I know all about him. But
Dilly
yeah,
said
I've
it's
never
like
seen the
Blindside,
movie.
but better. So
It's pretty good.
that's a big statement.
It's very
Oh,
good.
you've seen it?
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
he's
it.
the
It's
one
very
that
good.
told me to watch it.
Oh,
It's been a couple
Nothing's
years.
nothing. I told him, nothing's beating my All American. Absolutely nothing.
yeah.
Nothing,
My
no.
All American fucking brings you to tears.
It's number one.
Oh yeah.
My All American brings you to tears,
Oh,
especially
that's
mine.
Yes. Yeah, we won't get into that.
Dude, that shit broke me down.
Yeah, but brought you up. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Anyways,
in the end, and that's
Yeah.
why it's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
it is
great.
a crazy.
Also,
movie.
really good, just well-made movie. So,
Yep.
yeah, we're gonna watch that after this. So we're gonna get to that, but finish it up. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening to this episode. What number was it, Dilly?
71.
You got it. Hesitated, but you got it. So what's next?
Took me a
Then?
second. 75.
All right. That's the one.
72.
So we're kind of crushing through the season. I'm proud of us. Haven't missed
Yeah.
a single week
Yeah, it's pretty good.
the whole season. I'm proud of
pretty
us.
good.
We got to keep that up. Big moves in season 3, whatever the fuck that is. But we'll see you guys in episode 72. Not 75. 72. We'll figure out what the big topic was
Yeah.
for next week. Hope you like this week's big topic. Dilly went in, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
So
I did indeed.
it was good. Educational episode. So
Yep.
Yes, sir.
you come here for the educational podcast. So welcome. This just might work podcast. keep listening, keep watching. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Episode 72. Love ya. Peace. Skittish.
No socialist wine.